internet friends, they've done it again. This time they've gone after our precious old country store with over 650 locations across 43 states. That's right, they've gone after the Cracker Barrel, a place of nostalgia with country cooking and a front porch lined with rocking chairs. Not to mention a huge fireplace at the center of every restaurant upon which the walls are adorned with art and items from the America of old. Or at least that's the Cracker Barrel everyone grew up with before they decided to sterilize and wokeify the entire brand, which has everyone real upset. But is corporate America just changing the logo and whitewashing the walls, removing all the character from the old country store, from Americana? Or does this Cracker Barrel situation serve as a reflection of our current society? One of dulled senses, a rewritten past, and a populace quickly plummeting into a dark age. Did you know that Cracker Barrel was originally founded in the 1960s by a sales representative for Shell Oil? The oil companies had it all figured out. They'd put these gift stores / restaurants / gas stations on the side of every highway to boost oil sales, so people could fill up their cars and their bellies. The whole aesthetic was your grandpa's cabin, which was Southern themed, a country store, very cozy. And the name Cracker Barrel just means a barrel in which they historically kept crackers. Not crackers like a racial slur, but like saltines, I guess. Due to the gas shortages and oil embargo of the 1970s, Cracker Barrel phased out the gasoline portion of the store. Eventually, the company went public in the 80s and expanded their locations ever since. I personally love a little Cracker Barrel lore. I love a little origin story, even though, for my purposes, I love it because it makes Stanley Meyer's death make a whole lot more sense. You know, the guy who allegedly made enemies out of all the oil companies by inventing a water-powered car. Stanley and his brother, they met up with these two Belgian investors at a Cracker Barrel. When Stanley suddenly clutched his throat after taking a swig of cranberry juice and ran out into the parking lot yelling, "They poisoned me!" right before dying. Right then and there. The official autopsy said Stanley died of a brain aneurysm, but you know how that goes. They probably just didn't want him selling that water-powered car. Welcome to Cracker Barrel. Well, fast forward to 2025. They've managed to ruin everything. This month, Cracker Barrel unveiled a new text-only logo, removing the iconic Uncle Herschel figure leaning against a barrel, which has been in use since 1977. This change is reportedly part of a broader $700 million modernization plan, which includes brighter, less nostalgic restaurant interiors. Everyone's saying that this is another loss in the ongoing culture wars. They've removed Uncle Herschel and his Appalachian culture and the plow on the wall above your head while you're eating pancakes. It's not even a country store anymore. They've removed that from the logo entirely. It's just another soulless void along the asphalt artery of corporate America. And listen, I know some of y'all are probably with me on this, though I'm not really that outraged. I'm just keeping score, keeping documentation for all the scholars to study several centuries from now. Then there are some of you right now who are probably saying, "Grace, I can't believe you would ever eat at a Cracker Barrel. That's disgusting. I hate Cracker Barrel. Ooh." There's the door. I would never turn my nose up to no Cracker Barrel. I haven't been there in a few years, but after all of my pregnancy doctor appointments during COVID, we'd go to Cracker Barrel for breakfast. We would. Yes, we would. And you know what? It was great because you can sit in the dim lighting, eating your eggs, the heat of the fireplace at your back, playing that pegboard game, and realizing your IQ might not actually be any higher than the temperature of the room.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. We're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
Anyway, the sharp decline in Cracker Barrel stock and uptick in outrage is being attributed to the woman CEO, Julie Felss Masino. We always love to blame abroad, don't we? Especially with those glasses. She's probably personally in every Cracker Barrel with Joanna Gaines, just whitewashing those walls and taking those foggy pictures of someone's dead grandma and grandpa down. She's a witch. I saw her use witchcraft. Masino defended the changes as a business necessity to make Cracker Barrel more relevant for today and tomorrow, emphasizing customer-driven modernization over political motives. She's been the CEO since 2023, and shortly after being appointed CEO, Cracker Barrel sponsored Nashville Pride in 2024. They went woke, and if you go online, you have all these people claiming that Cracker Barrel is racist because of its ties and aesthetic to the Old South nostalgia. Like Black people should be scared to eat there or something, so I'm sure they've had some kind of Monday meeting about this, and the CEO knows everything that people talk about online and is trying to distance the company from culturally Southern anything. Sterilize it. Decolonize the Cracker Barrel. This whole situation has me doing a side eye because now the Democratic Party is tweeting that they don't like the new woke Cracker Barrel either. Steak and Shake is dunking on the Cracker Barrel. It makes me feel certain that they've sacrificed that red heifer, you know? That red heifer is with the Lord. They're about to go build another temple and the Antichrist is near. The Cracker Barrel redesign set off this chain of events. Actually, I think it would be interesting to discuss the soullessness and artlessness of modern and brutalist architecture as it relates to demoralizing a society. A society in which most folks can't sing, dance, draw, paint, play an instrument, write, or even read for fun. Is the removal of all the character from our surroundings a reflection of our society? They tried to tell us that these cathedrals were made in what were called the Dark Ages. But look at them. There's so much more imagination and passion and skill and pride and legacy than anything they've built in the last 50 years. You cannot tell me that those ages were dark and we're living in some kind of golden era. You can't tell me that the people of the past were less educated, less civilized, or less skilled, and we're somehow more advanced now. I'm not buying what you're selling. Look around the next time you drive through town, through your neighborhood developments and your historic downtowns. Everything that is being built right now is being built to the cheapest standard. It's like a kindergartner drew a box and that's what the design plans were based off of. There's no skill, no imagination, and no character. It's just done as quickly and as cheaply as possible and sold at the highest profit. Ideally to some corporate investor, some kind of corporate outfit or shadow LLC. And it really seems like we're headed to this place where there's no value in art or antique knickknacks, remnants of the past, or even those stupid tchotchkes on the wall of the Cracker Barrel. No imagination. So we took it down and painted the walls white. We abandoned the culture. We abandoned the national identity and its past. We decolonized the Cracker Barrel. Is it a big deal? No, not really, but it's a symptom of a greater illness tearing through the very fabric of American society. What do you think, internet friends? You know, I always look forward to reading your comments. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for supporting my channel on Patreon, and for buying my book, The Deep State Encyclopedia. Bye.